Hi guys, welcome back to NextOps channel. Hope you have already subscribed to NextOps. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do it now to receive the latest video updates via notifications. And also please do not forget to click on bell icon. So far I have uploaded videos on PowerShell get help command, get command, parameters, variables, and other components. It's been a lot of theory. So I just wanted to make it a little practical in this video by explaining what we have learned so far with a simple script. So treat this as a recap for what we have learned so far. If you haven't watched any videos or if you missed something, just go ahead and watch the previous videos to get good idea about what I'm discussing in this video. If you're following right from the beginning, it will be easier for you. With that, let's switch over to our presentation and let me explain a little bit about the script and the requirements. Then we'll move on to the actual scripting part. So as I mentioned, it's a quick recap with a script. So I just wanted to recap about variables, parameters, and other components that we have discussed so far. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'll write a script in front of you. While writing the script, I'm going to explain it to you uh, in detail so that you'll understand all these components in practical. So this script basically created for silent installation of any kind of app. When I say any kind of, it works with almost all apps. The requirements for the script is you need to research the silent options for each application and get the list of applications, put them in a CSV file, and also place them in a share or a local folder, whichever is feasible for you. So it's just a simple script which can install any of the softwares. The only thing that we need to do is just need to do a little research about the application. It's just a one-time task and list out all this information in the CSV file and present it to the script so that it will read the CSV and pick up the software with the silent switches and install it for you. So hope it will be useful for your daily activities. So let's go ahead and get started writing the script. So for this, I have created an environment with two servers. One server is providing the software repository on a share. That's what usually in the production environments. All the softwares will be staged in a central repository like a network shares kind of stuff. So I created one server for providing a repo for all these softwares. And I created a share and given read-only access to everyone on that share. And the other server is to test our script. So those two servers are ready now, and also I have downloaded the software to avoid the time waste. So let me switch back to my ISC console. So in the PowerShell ISC video, we have discussed about how to work with PowerShell ISC. So if you don't know how to work with it, go ahead and watch PowerShell ISC video first. So you'll get a good idea. So in this script, what I'm going to do is, my target is to make this script useful for silent installation of any kind of app. So when I say app, it's a software that gets installed on a computer. So software is usually installed via installers. So Microsoft has its own installer called Microsoft Installer. So a software with the .msi extension can be installed with Microsoft Installer. Installer is nothing but which provides a wizard wherein we can choose the path to install the software and other configuration options while installing it. It's like next, finish. That is what it is called as installer. So most of the softwares will be having MSI if it is a Windows-based software. And we also see EXEs uh, while doing the installations. So EXEs is a other kind of installers. So we have different kinds of installer for them. Like some EXEs will be installed with 7-zip directly. They will be extracted to the respective locations and software gets installed. And other softwares will be using some kind of install shield kind of installer. Maybe some others will be using different kinds of installers. So our goal is to install any kind of software silently on a given machine. So in real-time scenario, when you're working on a large-scale deployments, for example, uh, when an employee joins, you need to hand over a laptop. Or if you're a server engineer, you need to deploy a server with respective softwares. Or if it is a VDI, a development engineer may require a set of softwares which needs to be installed on VDI instance. So these kind of scenarios will be there. So OS installation is one part and software installation is another part. When it comes a single software, it will be easy to install across multiple machines. It's just like clicking it and executing it manually. That's fine, but it takes a lot of time. So there will be some batch files you can use to make it silently installed. But what if we have more than one software, like we have hundreds of softwares? So installing these softwares across multiple machines is a tedious task. Of course, we have tools like SCCM and other software deployment tools also available, but they are like kind of costly. You need to purchase them. So why don't we write a script which can take care of the silent installation of apps? All the thing that you need to do is initially you need to research the applications required and how to install them silently. That's what you need to do. For each software, you need to figure out the silent installation methodology. Then record that information in a CSV file. So present that CSV file to our script. It will pick up the information and install the software for you. So in this example, I am going to install 6 softwares, right? So as I mentioned, I have set up an environment. So here is my environment, VM1, VM2. So I have downloaded a couple of softwares here and I placed them on this particular machine in software folder. So I have downloaded 7-zip, AnyDesk, Chef Client, Chrome, Firefox, Notepad plus plus softwares. So by the way, this particular folder has been shared already. It's been shared. It's been shared already. And also alongside of the softwares, I've placed a CSV file here. So this is the information that I have gathered by researching on the internet. So for each package, we have some silent switches, right? So this is a one-time task. And if you want to add additional software, you just need to add another entry so that our script will dynamically pick up the information and install the software for you. It's just that simple. If you don't want a software to be installed, you can remove the item from the list. That's all it is. So now we have our software ready with the packages information and we need to work on the script now. So environment is ready and we need to work on the script right now. So let me show you real quick that this machine is fresh machine. It doesn't have any software installed on it. So with our script, we are going to install the software silently. So while writing the script, I'm going to touch all the components that we discussed so far, variables, parameters, piping, etc., etc., so that you'll get a good idea with a practical example. Hope this will be useful for you. And if you are looking something like this, I'll definitely going to create more videos explaining the scripts so that it will be easier for everyone to understand PowerShell and use it in real time. Okay, let's get started with the script writing. So first I need to define a variable for the path of the software. So I'm going to define a variable which is $path. So variables we have discussed in the variable video. We have normal variables, system variables, and environment variables. To define a variable, you need to start it with a $sign and give it a name, and equal sign will assign the value for you. So in my path, I'm going to give the software repo of my environment. So it is in VM1 under softwares folder. That's where it is. And then I need to get my softwares list. So I have created my packages.csv already. So I need to figure out a way so that I can import the information into PowerShell. So let me make another variable. It is softwares, and this will be like we have created the information in a CSV format. So I need to import the information right now into this variable. So to do that, I use import -csv. So okay, here I picked up import -csv. How do I know to pick this value? So I don't know which command to use, right? So I use get command and I'll give CSV as the keyword. It will definitely pick up something for you and give you output. So we have some commands which are useful to manipulate the CSV files. So import and export. So in our example, we have our CSV file with the respective data already stored. So if I go back to my console and access my software folder, so here it is, the packages.csv. To read the content of any kind of file, like CSV or text file, we use getContent command usually. So with getContent, if you pass packages as input, what happens is the output of the command will not be properly aligned. So it's just showing us comma separated values. If you do that with import CSV, there's a lot of difference here. Same command, same file I am going to import using import CSV. So what it is going to do is it will read the file and give you in a aligned format. Now we have our information aligned in a specific order with two values. So for this purpose, I am actually using import CSV here. So I'm using import CSV and importing the information into softwares variable. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So the file located in softwares folder and the file name is packages.csv. Now it has a delimiter. So import CSV usually takes a delimiter. Delimiter means how the data is getting separated. Is it comma separated value or colon separated value or how it is? So you need to mention that so that it will be very properly aligned. So it is comma separated value basically. So I'm going to give delimiter is comma, and there is one more parameter that we need to pass is header. So if you look at the previous command execution, there is no title for this value here and here. So the first value has been picked up as the title header. So to avoid this, we need to give some header explicitly. So automatically it will take this as header and use it for the values. So before here, import CSV is actually taking two parameters. So parameters are a way to provide input. You remember from the parameters video? So we are providing some input to import CSV using delimiter parameter and header parameter. So if you look help for import CSV, these parameters will be there. So to look at the help, we need to use get help command. So it will open the respective help document for that commandlet. So this particular commandlet has two parameter sets, and we used delimiter and we used header here. So header is taking a string value, delimiter is taking a character. So it's just a simple character, either comma or full stop or whatever it is. So how did you formatted your CSV depends on the delimiter. I mean, uh, the delimiter will depends on that value. If you have formatted your CSV using comma, delimiter will take comma as the value, input value. So we used parameters and pass some information to input CSV, and now this guy is manipulating the data. So let's go ahead and execute this command right here in this import CSV. We already did that. So delimiter I'm going to give comma, and header I'm going to give installer and switch. So if we do this, now your values will have a particular header associated with them. So earlier it took the first value as the header value. So to avoid that, we used header parameter here. So parameter for this command will be used like this. If you don't know how to use this commandlet, you can use import CSV and gives examples parameters to get help, and it will show you some examples for the commandlet. Because this is a new machine and the help hasn't been updated yet, so it is not showing anything right here. If you want to update the help, you need to do it using this commandlet. Okay, let's go back to the console. So it's going to take some time. So I'm now created a variable with a name softwares and used import CSV to import the data into my particular variable. So now I'm going to pipe this into select command, select object, where I'm going to select only the header names. It might be having some other information. You can give one more header value here, but it will be empty. PowerShell accepts it, but there is no value associated with our CSV, because CSV only has two values. One is installer name and the other one is switch, right? So there is no other value like value in the text file that we have seen. So let me show right here. So it's all two values, comma separated two. If it does have one more separated by comma, then you can add value in the header so that it will be picked up. So as we don't have any other values, I'm just going to stick with two headers here, header names, and I'm going to select those two properties only. So when we have executed the commandlet, this is one property and this is one property for this particular data. So installer is installer name, switch is switch, actually the silent switch used for the installation. So this is we have defined, this has been defined by us, it's not predefined. So I am actually selecting only installer and switch properties because we don't have anything else and we don't require anything else also. So once we do that, this particular commandlet will read the CSV file and populates the information, and when we pipe the output generated by import CSV to select object, it is only going to select the data. This data will be converted into string format automatically and will be placed inside software's variable. Now software's variable will be having sufficient data. So let's do one thing. Let's do this inside the machine, the second machine, from where we wanted to execute the script. So it will be easier for us to verify the values in the real time. All right, so far we have written this. All right, so now we have defined our path, which is accessible obviously from this machine. So if you want to confirm, you can confirm by, so it is accessible. And now I am taking packages.csv from my network share and generating some output. So we just simply execute this part and see what it is showing. So it is able to read the data from the share and pulled all the information from the packages.csv. Along with this, if we pipe the information and execute the entire commandlet, what it's going to show is the same data basically. So there is no need of giving select object here, but to explain the piping, I just placed it here. So piping two types, by value and by property name. I recently uploaded two videos on command piping in PowerShell last week. So just go ahead and watch them to understand how actually piping works. So this particular commandlet has generated some data, and from this data I wanted to select specific properties of the object. So anyway, this particular uh, command has generated only two properties, and I'm piping this information into select object commandlet, which is taking this output as input and selecting the respective properties. So if you want to only select installer, you can do so. Like we have two values generated by import CSV, but only I wanted to have installer information. You can do that. So this is how actually select object will be used. There is no switch values defined here. Otherwise, if you want to only generate switch, that can be doable as well. So select object's basic functionality is to select properties from the output. So we are actually taking data from import CSV and providing it as input to select object. So it is selecting the respective properties and placing it into software's variable. So if I execute this guy entirely, now our data will be stored in softwares. We can use it to manipulate now. So software's variable have an array of data now. Why it is an array? Because it has multiple strings, multiple values, in fact. So a string is nothing but it's just a simple word. If it is a collection of words, if it is a collection of strings or collection of integers or multiple values, it's called as a array. That's we discussed in data types and in variables video, I believe. So just go ahead and watch that if you want to understand what a array is. So now I have my software's list defined, and I took the information from packages.csv. So I wanted to install this software onto my machine, this machine specifically. So because it doesn't have any software installed already. So by writing a script, we can do that. So to access the information inside this variable, we need to use for each loop. What is a for each loop? I'm going to discuss in the next videos, upcoming videos. So please do subscribe to receive the notifications and click on the bell icon for the upcoming videos. So to access the data inside your software's variable, software's array variable, you need to create one more variable because you want to access the data sequentially in the software's variable. So there are 6 items defined here. So for each item, you need to execute some commandlet to install the software silently. So first step is to extract the value from the array. Because we have 6 values here, we cannot execute them simultaneously. So I just wanted to execute them sequentially. For that, we use for each loop, and in for each loop, we'll create a variable and we define some condition like this. So this is our existing variable softwares. For each software in softwares, what does it mean? So it means from softwares, pick up a value and place it in software variable, a single variable, single value. It can be anything. It doesn't mean to be software. It can be package or any name it can be. But for the understanding purposes, I put it in software. So until the loop ends, so we have 6 values. This loop rotates for 6 times. So in the last iteration, software variable will be having last software name. In the first iteration, it will be taking Firefox. And in the second iteration, it will pick up 7-zip. And the third iteration, it will pick up chef client. So software variables data, this particular variable data will be always changing throughout this loop. So why a variable is called as variable is because of this, because the data in the variable will be varying always. It will not be permanent. It's a temporary location for data. I have explained about variables in the variable section. So while this loop is running, from software's variable, a value will be extracted and placed inside software variable as a single entity, and whatever the script we place inside this particular brackets will be executed again as that particular variable, not again as this variable. So when you start writing scripts, you need to follow a standard. So for each always starts with these kind of brackets, normal brackets, and then immediately it will start with curly brackets. So whenever you open a bracket, you also try to close it immediately, because you'll forget these things always. And PowerShell is an intelligent, PowerShell ISE is an intelligent IDE. In fact, it has IntelliSense and spell checking also. Because we forgot closing bracket, it is saying closing bracket is missing. So what I'll do is, when I open a bracket for something, I immediately close it off and I give a couple of enters, so that I can write my script inside these brackets. So I'll never forget the end brackets. So when you're writing scripts, just follow these instructions. It will be easier. Once we write 1,000-line script, it's hard to find where exactly the mistake is happening. Most of the issues are related to spelling mistakes and missing brackets or commas or quotation marks kind of thing. So searching through entire script is a difficult part when we are working with larger scripts. So it's make a habit of following some instructions, whatever is convenient for you. But in my case, I always open and close brackets initially while writing the script itself. So it will be a block. So now we have for each loops getting started. So for each software, for first value, we need to write something. So this will be applicable to all the values in the software's variable. So every time it runs through the loop, it will execute the script inside these two brackets. So we need to write the script accordingly that will be applicable to this particular value. All right. So now I need to pick up something. My installer name I need to pick up. So for that I need to create, I'm going to create one more variable executable exec. So that is coming from my software dot installer. What does it mean? So let me do this. Right. Softwares have been imported now. So softwares, when we actually individually pick that up and give a dot, it will show you the respective values that were defined for this particular variable. So it has methods associated with it, and it has some uh, values associated with it. So these are all predefined basically. But when we actually do something like this, like selecting objects and stuff like that, you can actually give the property name directly, because we have selected two properties here. One is installer and one is switch from the data produced. So you can directly access the installer information. If you want to only look at the installer data for a specific object, data object inside the array, then you can mention something like this. You can directly access that value like this. If you want to only have switch here, so you can access that using this. So now I am taking the installer name into other variable. To do that, so our for each loop has picked the first value inside software variable. So for that software variable also, it has installer value and switch value also. So first software in the list is Firefox. So if I give a dot notation with the installer property, it will pick up the actual name of the software. That is what my executable is. And then I wanted to make sure it will be returned as string. So what I'm going to do is, again, I am converting the defined variable into string explicitly. So there is a method associated with this. If you give like this, if you give dot, you can see the associated methods once the execution is completed. Now we are unable to see, but if you see softwares, these are all methods. In here, you have two strings method. So this method I'm accessing for SoftExec. So how I am actually defining these variables. So I just wanted to make it clear one more time. So softwares have information with the installer and switch properties. Using the for each loop, I am rotating through the information inside this particular array. So I wanted to pick up one value at a time. So I created one more variable, and using the in operator, I am taking the value from software's array to my string variable. So now it has some value, the first value we can say. So first value is also having installer and switch data, right? Installer for first value is Firefox and switch data for first value is QN. So now I have defined one more variable to extract the name of the installer. So software already has some value, and using dot installer, I am taking the only name of the software and storing it into another variable for my comfortness. And again, um, I'm converting it into string value and again assigning it to the SoftExec. Before it might be some different object, but after converting it into toString, it will be converted to toString. Again, I'm assigning the same value to SoftExec. So now it's been converted to SoftExec. Let's go ahead and do one more thing. Package as variable. So I wanted to make sure the list of software, the software that is listed in the CSV is matching with the softwares that are located in our share. So I have some software in my CSV file listed out here, and I have some software in my share. So now I wanted to compare these two things and figure out whether the software is existing or not. If it is not existing and if the value is here, then nothing should happen. And vice versa. If the software is here and the value is not listed, nothing should happen. So I'm comparing the data. If only matches, if this value matches with this value here, then only execute. If none of the values are matching, if the value something is defined in the text file and that is not existing in the software folder, then do not do anything. and software is here, but nothing has been defined here, then also do not do anything. So match up with the content from CSV file with the list of softwares in your folder, and if both entries are matching, then only do something for that software. Otherwise, do nothing. That's what it is. So now I need to figure out a way to compare the data. So first I need to get the list of softwares, get child item. So this is to list out the values from the command line basically. So how do I know that? Because I manipulate it a lot. Get child item. If you want to go ahead and look at some users, get child item. So dir will be also used. So dir is an alias for get child item basically. Get alias hyphen definition. Aliases we discussed the commands and errors video. So definition is get child item. So this guy has 3 aliases. dir is one of them, gci, ls. Any of the alias can actually lead you to get child item in the background. So this is how we can access aliases. So get child item is listing out the entries in your directory. So now with my get child item, I am going to list out my softwares in the softwares folders first. So I wanted to use my variables here. Path is already defined, and our software installer name, SoftExec, that we created just before. So this guy will be taking the name of the installer, right? So we are clubbing together the path and the installer name. So this guy is going to verify whether the installer is exist or not, and then we are piping it with where object commandlet. So I just wanted to filter where name of the software should be equal to my variable name, installer name. In fact, we have defined installer here. So this will be having installer name. So that will be Firefox setup 72.0.2.msi. So, and in the first command, I am actually getting the software name using the path variable and SoftExec variable. SoftExec, so it will be like if you, these values will be only visible when you execute the commandlet. It will be like Firefox setup. So this is how the information inside this particular, these two values. So what I am going to do is when I execute this commandlet, it is going to pick up, show me the softwares in the share. So from the values that has been generated, I am only comparing the name of the value with the name of the installer. If it matches, then do something. Otherwise, do not do anything. All right. So this is to compare if data in the CSV matching software name in the folder, then only execute something. Otherwise, do not do anything. So packages, absolutely, it is actually taking the information from the path variable and SoftExec variable and comparing it with the CSV file. So now we have packages list or packages information stored in our packages variable. So I am going to do another for each here. So for each package in packages list. So I'll show you what does it mean when we execute the script. So now we got the existing packages information that is matching with CSV file and list of softwares. So I need to figure out whether it is an MSI or an EXE. That's what the question now. So for MSI, there will be some silent switches. For EXEs, respective silent switches will be there. So first I need to figure out whether it's an MSI installer or a EXE installer. To do that, I need to create one more variable, and here I am using some .NET method, built-in method, system class.io class.path. So these are accessible in the Visual Studio kind of thing. So this particular class has getExtension method in which I am going to give package name. Okay, let me write down the script, and then once we execute, I'll explain it again clearly. So now it is extracting the extension for that particular package. Then I'm going to turn it into lowercase because I need it. And then the last thing that we need to define is switch. Based on the extension, we need to use the switches. Software, so here we used software installer, and now we are accessing software.switch, and also switch needs to be converted to string. So variable definitions are complete. Now we need to manipulate this data using some if-else condition. So now if extension is equal to dot msi, so extension will be extracted using this particular method from the package name. So package's name will be retrieved using GetChildItem from the network path. So for each package, it is going to extract the respective extension, and depending on the extension, we are going to actually manipulate the data. So now we need to write if else black, right? So if else, so between these two, I am going to write something. First, I need to copy the installer from network share to my local folder. So I'm going to create some temp folder in the C drive with softwares, and I use force make dir or new child item, whatever the command you can use. Copy item is the commandlet to copy, and from where we are copying this, again it is path SoftExec, and double quotes are needed when you use the data from variables. If it is a single quote, it will be treated as a string. Inside the data will not be read. So when you want to read the data from variables, you need to use double quotes. So the data inside variable will be used for the execution when you use double quotes. If it is single quotes, it will be direct string. No data will be retrieved. So the folder I have created earlier, where I wanted to copy this particular software and force, that's fine. If it is needs to be overwritten, then now I wanted to output something on my screen. Write package name, write host, installing package silently, please, because I wanted to know whether this has been started or not. So if we do something like this, okay, we will use background color yellow for this, and this is the important command, start process. So this will actually execute the software installer from your temp folder, softwares, and package name, argument list will be your switch, simply. And I want to wait until the installation gets finished. After the installation finished, I wanted to remove the item. I don't want to preserve it on my machine, so I'm removing it at the end of the installation. Once the removal is completed, I wanted to output site host installation of package completed. So background color, we use green, which means a symbol for. So this is for MSI. And how about for the other types of installers, executables? I'm going to copy the same thing here. So it's the same thing, but the only thing is we need to mention something like no new window. So Microsoft installers will be, most of the time will work with QN. So no windows will be popped up while the installation is going on. But other executables like exes, Firefox or anything, even though if you give silent installation, something will pop up and the installation will be passed, maybe. So I don't want it to happen that. So I'm providing no new window parameter to start process commandlet here, and I'm going to install it like this. So now the rest of the things are common. So I just wanted to make sure for MSI it is something like this, and for rest of the packages is something like this. So now my script is ready. I'll go ahead and save it. Let me look at my script one more time. Okay, so everything looks good now. So I'm going to save it on my desktop. Silent installer.ps1, and I'm going to execute from my PowerShell. So before that, let's see. We don't have any programs installed here, and we don't have ctemp as softwares folder. So while it is happening, we can see something is going on the machine. I'll keep on refreshing the softwares, and you can also look at the softwares folders in the background so that the information will be populated automatically here in this folder. All right, so we have six softwares: Firefox, 7-zip, Chef Client, AnyDesk, Notepad++, Chrome. And once this is done, I will add one more item to the list, and it will automatically pick up. So let's go ahead and kick off. Temp softwares has been created. Something was wrong with the script, I think. So it has thrown some error. So again, this is an example for commands and errors. So I just wanted to understand the error, what it is. If you see here, It is saying the path is VM1 softwares. In the softwares folder in the temp, it is also attaching the network share information. So something is wrong here, and also we don't want the text to be displayed like this. You can't read it. So we'll make the necessary changes. Let's go back to auth. This is first of all, this is foreground color, not background color. So let's go ahead and do that, and foreground. I hope the softwares were copied. Yeah, softwares were copied. Just delete them. But something is wrong here with the definition of packages, it seems. So let me execute the script here. Let me clear the screen and let's do that real quick. Okay. So now the script got executed. I stopped it, and the softwares are getting copied again. So let's remove them. So this is a kind of troubleshooting now. I guess I need to give SoftExec instead of package, and let us see how it treats this guy. SoftExec also having the package in name, so let's take that and provide the script. So wherever package is there, I'm actually changing it to SoftExec and save it. So as the script has been executed, we can see all the data inside these variables now. So let's see what path variable has. This is fine. That's good. And softwares, it has the list of softwares and switches. That's good. And last iteration, the software variable has. So because we stopped it at the third iteration, we picked up chef client as the last one. And now software variable, before that it should have 7-zip on Firefox, probably because we stopped it in the middle, right? So okay, now SoftExec. Now if you do if you want to look at the values, so if you type software and give a dot, you can see the properties of this particular object. This is how I gave here in the background. So with the once the execution is completed, you can see the properties like this. These are called as object properties. I'll discuss about these things in the objects class. So now SoftExec has chef client name. Yeah, last iteration is for chef. So, and again I've changed it to string. So I took it to packages then, and from VM softwares, it picked up the last package name. So name is the property I wanted to match with my data in SoftExec. So with object equal to SoftExec. I guess it is true. For each package in packages, I'm going to take so now again, like in the packages list we have some software, right? So I'm going to only take package, single package, and in the extension, yes, the extension for this package is .msi picked up, and I've changed it to my lowercase. That is fine. And I took this access the switch value for this installer for this package is qn, which is again like software.switch as I shown here. It picked up this value and changed it to if extension is equal to .msi, dir or through SoftExec. Copy item, copying it to my software folder, installing in software argument list. Hope this fixes the issue. Now as we replace the information, I think SoftExec will replace the issue. Let us see. Let's go ahead and do that. So nothing has been installed yet. So I made a couple of changes to the script. So I'll clear my screen. All right, now it is working. So this is how we can actually fix our issues. And the information is also looking good now. So once the script execution is completed, we can see software getting populated here. So once the installation is completed, this will be deleted automatically. So now it's getting installed automatically and silently. Firefox installation is done, I believe. So once this is deleted, which means it is done. So likewise, you can actually add more software to the list and install all of them together silently. So you just need to do a bit of R&D before using this script for each software. So chef client is executing now, copying now in fact. So if we see 7-zip has been installed, Firefox has been installed, working on chef client now. This package is a bit bigger, 190 MB, so copying also takes some time, and then installation. So these three are actually MSI packages. If you see here, I put something. So and this is deletion command getting executed. So chef client is going on now. And if you actually add one more software to the packages list CSV file, then all the software will be reinstalled because our list contains all the software and we are going to add one more line. So if you do that, it's going to actually install everything from the scratch. So it's a reinstallation. So just be sure that you have proper list of software before executing the script on multiple machines. And if you want to skip the installation of already installed software, then you need to add additional logic to your script to find out whether the software is already present or not. If present, skip it. If it is not present, then go ahead and install it. So that's how we can actually modify the script. That will be an advanced thing. So once we move on with all our sessions, we can look at the advanced options as well. So it's taking a bit time, but doing the thing necessary in the background, I believe. If we refresh the software here, software list here, it's going to pop up again. Hope you guys enjoying my videos. I'm going to make more videos on the scripting part, actually explaining the script like this. So it will be helpful for you guys. So keep subscribed. Also click on bell icon. So chef client has been installed. AnyDesk has been installed. Notepad++ has been installed. These packages are very small, 2 MB, something like that. So they're not taking much time. So last one is Chrome. So let's see what happens with Chrome also. So let me show you one more example, like how I am doing this entire thing. Let's go ahead and install one more software, and you'll get to know how this script is actually useful. I hope this will be useful for many guys because people will be installing software on daily basis for their regular activities. Do not compare it with professional tools like SCCM or any other kinds of things because they are costly. This is a free script, open source script. I have written for my daily job activities. So Chrome also has been installed now. So let's go ahead and do some modifications here. So let me make a copy of this first. So I don't want to miss it. Okay. So I'm going to add VLC media player to this list now. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's download the VLC media player first. So now I don't know anything about VLC media player because it's a new software being given by some management or something like that. I assume something like that. So what I'm going to do is first I download the software, or first I check for silent installation options. VLC media player. So I'm going to download it. Download VLC. And now I need to figure out how to install this guy. VLC media player silent install. I guess VLC website has some information. So yeah, for Windows it is showing here, right here. All right. So this is this. Okay, this is the exe name, and this is the silent switches. All right. L means language code. For English, I think we need to use 1033. All right. So let's update our package.csv because we don't want any of these softwares again to be installed. Just wanted to show you VLC. So just take the name of this exe, put it here, .exe, comma, and whatever the silent switches they have provided here, copy them and provide it to your script. That's all it is. So make sure there are no spaces between your switches and comma. So now, yeah, this has been, oh my god. Okay, let me save it to my desktop. Then I'll paste it from there. Some kind of access related issue, that is replace UAC, user access control. So now my package.cs we have only VLC. Let's go ahead and execute the script again from here. We don't have VLC installed. We just download it here. So let's go ahead and execute and see what it does for us. Installing VLC now silently. So it's that simple. So you need to keep on adding your softwares along with silent switches in that simple text file, and you'll be good to go with the script. You can install as many softwares as you want with this particular script, and life will be easier. So now we got our player has been installed. So this is a simple script, and if you want to make a script like this which works for all the operating systems and which do not reinstall the packages again and again, so we need to do a lot of modifications to the script, and those validations will be important while determining the platform, whether it is 32-bit or 64-bit, and the operating system version, and whether it's been installed or not, something like that. So these kind of validations should be added to the script so that it will be more dynamic. Depending on operating system type and version, you pick up the package, and if it is installed, you need to skip it. If it is not installed, then you need to go ahead and install. So this is how we can use the script and do the simple installation. So in this script, we have variables discussed, parameters discussed, get help, get command discussed. We saw some commands and errors, and additionally we have introduced to For each loop, we don't know anything about it, but I am going to create one more video on the loops, maybe two more videos on the loops, and also we access some object data directly using this notation. So I'm going to create one video on PowerShell objects as well. So keep watching the videos and do the magic however the way you want using PowerShell. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon. Otherwise, you'll get missed of interesting videos coming up. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this is informative for all of you. Thanks a lot.